Have you ever felt that agonizing emptiness when someone you love treats you like you're invisible? It's not just rejection, it's a warning from your unconscious, revealed by Carl Jung, that is showing you a hidden wound capable of destroying your self-esteem. But today, you will discover the forbidden secret that Jung used to transform pain into absolute power, a technique that less than 1% of people know and that will free you in less than 15 minutes. Before revealing this revolutionary method, do something crucial. Click the sign up button now. Why? Because thousands have already signed up and are using these teachings to turn the tables on relationships, careers, and even mental health. Don't be left behind. This could be the missing key to unlocking a life without emotional dependence. Ready for the power that no one will ignore you anymore? Let's dive in. Jung believed that actions are not mere coincidences but manifestations of a constant dialogue between our consciousness and our unconscious. Every time someone ignores you, your unconscious interprets that gesture as a symbol, a representation of something larger happening within you. It's not just about what that person does or doesn't do, but about what their action awakens in you. Maybe it's a feeling of rejection or even insignificance. But here's the key. Those feelings don't originate in the present. They're echoes of emotional wounds that have been dormant, waiting for the right moment to surface. Jung taught that how we react to these situations is deeply influenced by what he called the shadow, the part of our psyche that holds everything we've repressed or denied. When someone ignores us, their action can touch unintegrated parts of our shadow, triggering emotions that seem disproportionate. Imagine for a moment being in a relationship where that special person starts distancing themselves or, worse, acts as if you don't exist. What do? Most of us respond from a place of fear or insecurity, trying to regain their attention by any means necessary. However, Jung would propose something radically different. Look inward instead of focusing solely on the external. Why does being ignored hurt so much? Because it touches deep fibers of our identity, challenging our perception of self-worth. But here's the secret. It's not really about what that person does or doesn't do. It's about how you perceive yourself in that moment. Jung invites us to use these experiences as mirrors to explore our own shadows. That feeling of rejection can be an opportunity to identify parts of yourself that need recognition and healing. Instead of trying to fill the void with others' validation, Jung would say, you must embrace that void. Because in that space, in that apparent emptiness, lies the potential for your transformation. Every time someone ignores you, the universe is giving you an opportunity to deepen your self-awareness and reclaim your personal power. When faced with the feeling of being ignored, it's natural to ask, what did I do wrong? Why am I no longer important to this person? These questions, though understandable, trap us in a cycle of external searching rather than leading us to where we can truly find answers within ourselves. Jung believed that, at their core, our relationships act as projections of our unconscious. Every interaction with others reflects aspects of ourselves we often don't want or can't acknowledge. Think about it. When someone ignores you, it's not just their action that hurts, but what that action activates within you. Maybe it's a deep fear of abandonment, insecurity about your worth, or an unconscious belief that you're not enough. These wounds, stored in the depths of our psyche, don't disappear just because we ignore them. In fact, the more we try to avoid them, the more power they hold over us. Ignoring our shadow is one of the main reasons we repeat patterns in our relationships. Jung observed that what we don't confront consciously manifest externally as fate. So, if you feel you're constantly attracting people who ignore you or make you feel less than, it's no coincidence. It's an invitation from your unconscious to look inward, to confront the parts of yourself you've denied for so long. This is where transformation begins. When you choose to pause and face those uncomfortable emotions, something powerful happens. You no longer react automatically to others' behavior. Instead of seeking their validation, you start finding it within yourself. This isn't an easy task. It requires courage, patience, and above all, honesty with yourself. But the fruits of this inner work are immeasurable. Jung said the shadow isn't something to fear, but something to integrate. In that integration lies our true power. The next time someone ignores you, instead of reacting from pain or anger, ask yourself, what is this situation showing me about myself? What part of me needs attention, care, and acceptance? When you do this, you stop depending on others' actions to feel complete. Your self-esteem is no longer in someone else's hands. You begin cultivating a solid relationship with yourself, one that can't easily be shaken by external circumstances. Moreover, something curious happens when you take this path. The dynamics of your relationships start to shift. People who once ignored you suddenly begin to notice your presence in a different way. This isn't magic or manipulation. It's the reflection of an internal shift. By working on your shadow and reconnecting with your authenticity, you project an energy that others consciously or unconsciously perceive. When you do the inner work, you'll notice something fundamental. Those who ignored or undervalued you no longer have the same impact. It's as if you've broken a spell that kept you trapped in a cycle of emotional dependency. Jung called this process individuation, the path to becoming your most authentic self, independent of external expectations and validations. Individuation doesn't mean isolating yourself or disconnecting from others. It means learning to connect with yourself first. Jung explained that when we integrate our shadows, we also discover hidden strengths. The energy you once spent trying to please others or understand why someone ignored you can now be directed toward personal growth, goals, and dreams. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you freed that energy. Think of all you could achieve if you stopped worrying about what others think of you. That freedom isn't just an ideal, it's a real possibility that begins with an internal shift. The key lies in understanding that you can't control how others act, but you always have the power to decide how to respond and what meaning to assign to their actions. It's important to recognize that when someone ignores you, it's not always about you. Often, people project their own insecurities, fears, or internal conflicts onto their relationships. Jung emphasized that our actions toward others are largely a reflection of what's happening in our unconscious. So instead of interpreting their behavior as a judgment of your worth, consider the possibility that it's a reflection of what that person is facing internally. This doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespectful or harmful behavior. Protecting your energy and setting boundaries is a way to honor your value. Jung stressed that self-respect begins when you recognize what you deserve and stop accepting less. Every time you choose to walk away from a situation that doesn't nurture you or a person who doesn't value you, you're sending a powerful message to your unconscious. I am worthy of more. And in that moment of choosing to prioritize yourself, you begin attracting relationships that are truly aligned with your essence. People who resonate with you, who inspire you to become the best version of yourself, start appearing in your life. This isn't coincidence. It's the natural consequence of aligning your internal energy with your values and dreams. Jung firmly believed the unconscious has its own language, and learning to interpret it is essential for transforming our lives. One way the unconscious communicates is through recurring patterns in our relationships. If you notice the same type of rejection or indifference happening repeatedly, don't see it as a curse. Instead, consider it a message. There's something you need to learn, heal, or change. Every interaction, even the most painful ones, is an opportunity to grow. When someone ignores you, instead of focusing on why they act that way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What part of me is being challenged? Though uncomfortable, these questions have the power to lead you to a level of self-awareness few ever reach. When you start asking these questions and exploring the answers, something shifts deeply in your perception. The person who once had immense power over your emotions begins to lose that influence. This doesn't mean you stop feeling or become indifferent. It means your emotions are no longer dictated by others' actions or inactions. Jung described this as reclaiming your center. When you're centered, your worth and inner peace no longer depend on external factors. The individuation process Jung spoke of isn't linear or quick. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and intense emotions. But every step you take toward integrating your shadows and understanding your emotional patterns brings you closer to your essence. an essence that doesn't need anyone's approval or attention to shine. Jung believed that within each of us lies infinite potential for change and transformation. This potential activates when we face our fears and insecurities instead of running from them. So, if someone ignores you, consider it an opportunity to look inward and ask, what part of me needs to be heard? What do I need to heal or accept to feel whole? On this journey, you'll learn to distinguish between people who add to your life and those who subtract from it. Jung reminds us that not all relationships are meant to last forever, and that's okay. Some connections are designed to teach us something about ourselves and then leave us. Accepting this with gratitude, rather than resistance, frees you from unnecessary burdens and lets you move forward with lightness. This process doesn't just transform your relationships, it also transforms how you relate to yourself. By integrating your shadows and reconnecting with your authenticity, you begin to see the world with new eyes. Things that once seemed chaotic or painful now have purpose. Even the act of being ignored, which might have hurt deeply at first, becomes an opportunity to grow and rediscover your inner strength. Jung invites us to recognize that a relationship's value isn't measured by its duration or how much validation we receive, but by how much it helps us know ourselves better. Some of the most powerful lessons come from the most challenging interactions. If someone ignores you, don't take it as a reflection of your worth. See it as a sign that it's time to deepen your self-understanding. When you start living from this place of self-acceptance and clarity, the people who once ignored you begin to notice your change. This isn't because you've changed to please them, but because your energy has evolved. You no longer seek their validation. And that self-assuredness is magnetic. But here's the real secret. By then, you probably won't even need their attention anymore. You'll have discovered something far more valuable, yourself. This transformation process also opens the door to something incredibly powerful: synchronicity. Jung describes synchronicity as those moments when life seems to align almost magically. When you're in tune with yourself, the right people, opportunities, and perfect moments begin to appear. This isn't coincidence. It's the result of living in harmony with your true self. Synchronicity is a fascinating phenomenon Jung deeply explored. According to him, these meaningful coincidences are signals that your inner and outer worlds are aligned. As you start living authentically, these signals multiply, showing you're on the right path. Imagine this. As you leave behind relationships that don't resonate with you and focus on personal growth, supportive and inspiring people suddenly appear. You might receive an unexpected call, an opportunity that feels too perfect, or a chance encounter that changes your life's direction. These moments aren't accidents. They're the result of your internal transformation. Jung would say they're reflections of the universe's underlying order, connected to your internal state. But to reach this point, you must be willing to let go of what no longer serves you. This can be painful at first. People and situations you've kept close for years, even if they're unhealthy, might feel like part of you. However, Jung taught that true growth requires courage, and this courage often manifests in our ability to let go. When you release relationships and patterns that don't resonate, you create space for new and better things. This space isn't empty, it's filled with potential. It's like fertile ground waiting to be sown with the seeds of your most authentic dreams and aspirations. And when you cultivate that ground with clear intentions and deep self-awareness, the results are astounding. It's also important to recognize that not everyone who ignores you does so with bad intentions. Often, their actions reflect their own internal conflicts and unresolved shadows. Jung believed compassion, for others and ourselves, is essential to individuation. This doesn't mean justifying harmful behavior, but understanding that we're all navigating our own internal battles. This understanding not only frees you from unnecessary resentment, but also allows you to act from a place of balance and wisdom. When someone ignores you, you can choose not to react impulsively. Instead, you can pause, reflect, and decide how to respond in a way aligned with your true self. This is an act of personal power, and every time you do it, you strengthen your connection with yourself. The individuation journey doesn't just transform your relationship with yourself, it enhances the quality of all your relationships. People who once didn't value your presence might start doing so, not because You've changed to please them, but because your energy now reflects authenticity and security. Ironically, by then, you'll likely no longer seek their validation. You'll have learned that your worth doesn't depend on others' perceptions. Here's where even greater magic happens. Relationships not meant to stay in your life will fade naturally, while those that are will strengthen in ways you never imagined. It's as if by reconnecting with yourself, you're sending a clear message to the universe about the connections you wish to attract. When you choose to live from authenticity, something profound occurs. Your inner world aligns with the outer, and the right people, opportunities, and experiences begin to flow toward you. This process isn't magical in the traditional sense, but it's deeply powerful, a direct reflection of your commitment to personal growth and truth. Synchronicity becomes your ally, guiding you to places you never imagined. Throughout this journey, it's essential to remember that every step counts. It's not about changing to please others, but about returning to yourself, honoring your essence and living from that place of wholeness. Jung taught that by integrating our shadows, we not only find our strength, but also a deeper connection with the universe and those around us. When someone ignores you, it's not the end of your story. It's an invitation to look inward, grow, and discover your true power. By taking this path, you transform not only your relationship with yourself, but also the quality of relationships and experiences you attract. Best of all, by aligning with your authenticity, you begin to inspire others to do the same. This message isn't just for you. It's for anyone seeking clarity, answers, or a path to a more authentic life. If what you've heard here resonates with you, I invite you to take action. Share this message with someone who needs it, someone struggling with a similar experience or seeking change. Leave a comment below sharing which part of this message touched your heart or what action you're willing to take to align your life with your truth. Your story could inspire others on this path. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. Every interaction, click, and word you share helps this content reach more people who might benefit. Remember, change begins with you. Every step toward authenticity transforms not only your life, but also the world around you. This is your moment to shine, to live from your truth, and to be the inspiration others need. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for being part of this community of transformation. Together, we can carry this message further and help more people find their light. See you in the next video. The universe has great things in store for you. Until soon.